What are you doing differently? Not are you working hard? I know you probably are. Not are you dreaming or calling out your goals or manifesting? I know you probably are. Not are you hiring some coaches and doing the right things? I know probably many of you are. It's what are you doing differently than you did last year? What are you doing differently than you did the past 6 months? What are you doing differently than you've done your whole career or your whole life to get you the different results?
Welcome, everybody, to the Chris Harder Show, where we are making you unapologetic about your pursuit of success, knowing that when good people like you make good money, they can then do great things. My name is Chris Harder, and several times per week, I will bring you epic guests, solo episodes, and every single tool, trick, and skill set you need to grow your business, grow your money mindset, and to grow your wealth to levels that you have never reached before. I've ended up in a unique place in life where I've got the experience, the connections, and all of the secrets that it takes to be successful. And I'm lifting the curtain to reveal it all to you in an effort to help put you in a position of abundance so great that you can then be as generous as possible. So let's lock arms and let's get started.
And we're back
with another episode of He Said, She Said.
All right, before we get started on the topic, because today's topic is so good, one question that'll literally change your freaking life. We asked it on the walk this morning, and we're like, oh my God, yes, we're doing this, right? And I don't want to give anything away. So before we get there, if you're listening, the first VIP Mastermind weekend went so freaking well that group asked us to do another one right there on the spot. So we made up a date to do another one. And then we realized, oh my God, we haven't really been telling anyone that we're doing another one.
Yeah.
So half of it sold out right there on the spot. That means we have half the spots available for our late September VIP Mastermind weekend. Now, this is for like, if you don't want a 6-month mastermind, if you don't want a 1-year mastermind, if you want to be in person for 48 hours, for 2 days in a small group, you and 9 other businesses in our home, being inspired, going to dinner, and the best of all, being on both of our podcasts, because we record in our home studio here with you at this 2-day VIP Mastermind.
You get if you want all this, a segment on our shows. So you'll be on a podcast with a few other people. You'll get a good 20-minute segment on our shows about your business and your zone of genius.
Yeah. Talk about exposure, right? Like best thing ever. And in the 2 days, we spend so much time as a group working on your business, not just from the perspective of Lori and I for those 2 days here in our home, but everybody else who's in the group is offering their insight, other entrepreneurs on your business.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like this is bragging. I don't know how else to say it. Everybody left saying it was the best thing that they'd ever spent their money on. Like literally, we'll show you the screenshots. The best thing they'd ever spent their money on. So
I think so much of that, Chris, is because you and I have done so many masterminds, not only hosted them, but we are students. Like we have spent so much money, which has made us so much money back. It was so worth it. But we've spent so much money on investing in being in masterminds, on going to events, on being in the rooms that are going to help us grow, on learning from different teachers, on taking courses, on you name it. We have put ourselves in the rooms and still do to this day. And that is so many learnings that we get to apply to what actually moved the needle for us. So that's what these 2 days are at our home, is truly everything that's ever worked for us. We just kind of put it in this compacted, accelerated amount of time to really accelerate those of you who are ready to break through. Like if you already have a business that you're like, okay, I know that everything is here. It's pretty established. I just know that I need to get to the next level. Like if you're ready for that breakthrough and you know that you have not been doing the networking that you need or doing the working on the business, not just in the business, this is 2 days to come and take that time, see what's working, see what's not working, learn about what's working for other business owners, what's not working for other business owners, and just collaboratively have a round table of people weighing in on what they see in your business and your blind spots and what everybody thinks you should do. And I think the biggest thing that we got when we went around the table at the end of the experience was so many people said they just needed people to breathe life back into them, to remind them of what's possible. And that, people at the table would look at the person across from them and be like, why can't you do that? Like, you're amazing. Look what you've already done. So just really getting back into knowing that you are the freaking person who can do this for your business.
One more thing that just dawned on me, and then we're going to get on with the real episode here. But when you said learning who you are, what you're capable of, or, someone across the table reminding you like, wait, this is supposed to be your life.
Yeah.
Here's what I didn't expect. The number of photo shoots that broke out around the house and, with the ocean view and all the stuff around our home in Newport Beach here. It's absolutely beautiful. And so there's another perk besides all the other ones is you get to come here and do like a photo shoot here of your inspiration. And so many people are like, oh, this is going to be my ocean view. This is going to be my this, is going to be my that. And that was a really cool thing as well, because they're putting themselves in the energy of what they want to have. Okay. So listen, half sold out, half are available. We decided, oh yeah, we better tell the world about it. So you better rush over right now to chrisharder.me/weekend. Again, that is chrisharder.me/weekend, chrisharder.me/weekend. All right. Now, it is the weekend. We are recording. We love that. We like spreading out our work and like recording when we feel this like burst of, oh my God, we got to talk about that.
Yes.
And that happened on the walk today. We are like, oh my God, we've got to ask everyone else this question because we asked each other a question that was so good. The words are simple, but the product of it, the outcome of it is huge if you would ask yourself it on a regular basis.
Okay. So babe, I don't know if you remember this. This is where the question came from this morning, but this was the question that we started with in January.
Yep.
And so this morning, it popped back into my head because I was like, okay, we're going to go on, we wake up, we're quirky, and it works for us. It's actually changed our whole lives being a little bit weird, quirky, cheesy, whatever you want to say. And so this morning I was getting ready to go on the walk and I said, okay, this walk is like a manifesting, big dreaming walk. Like that's what this is labeled this morning because it's this gorgeous day out right now. And I was like, just wanted to feel the energy of manifesting in abundance and dreaming and fun and excitement. And so we went on the walk and I'm like, oh my God, let's revisit our question that we asked in January. And that was, what do we need to do to be different?
No. It was, what are we doing differently right now? And here's why it's important that you word it that way. What am I doing differently right now to get different results? It's not, oh, what would I like to do? I mean, if you're not doing anything differently, then you can change a question to that. But what you had asked me was, okay, time for a check-in. What are we doing differently that's delivering even more abundant results? That was the question.
That's a check-in question. But our original question was, who do we need to be and what do we need to do different in order to get the results that we want? So today was our check-in. What are we doing differently so that we know that we're on the right path? So that's what we started with.
Yeah. And I really want to break down the nuance between these two things because it's okay if you're not doing anything differently, then your question to you is, well, what should I be doing differently?
Yep.
And then if you are doing a few things differently, you got to check and be like, wait, what am I doing differently? Are they delivering different results? What makes this question so powerful, even though, like I said, they're simple words, this is not a revolutionary question, but when asked this question multiple times as a check-in, it is revolutionary because if you aren't doing anything differently, you're not going to get different results. Freaking period. There is no way around that fact. If you want different results, if you want a different outcome, if you want different abundance, if you want a different number in your bank account, if you want your business to have a different level of sales, if you want a different relationship, if you want a different body or different health, then you can't keep doing what you're doing right now. And here's what's kind of freeing. A lot of you are working your asses off, but it's not about working harder. It's about doing something different. A lot of you are being very consistent. But although consistency is one of the keys to success, if you're consistently doing the wrong thing or the same thing, you're going to get the same results. So it really does come down to, wait a minute, if I want something different, I need to ask myself, what am I doing differently to get that? So Lori, let me ask it to you live. I know we already talked about it on the walk. What are you doing differently lately that you're proud of that you're starting to produce different results?
So in January, I got the major awareness that when it's always worked for us in our business, it's been when I am top of funnel. Let me explain. Top of funnel means I am going to be attracting all of the eyeballs and I'm going to be doing the audience acquisition. It's just what I've done really well with. It's what this podcast is. I focus on the podcast and this is, our biggest numbers of all of everything that we have on social. All of our audience has come from this podcast. And so I'm focusing on having better content on the podcast. Hopefully you've noticed that with some of my quickies as well. And moving forward, I'm strategically planning some great things for some series of episodes where I feel like the conversations are going to be a little bit more intentional and impactful. And then the other thing was I felt that we didn't have good opt-ins, which is how you grow your email and text lists. And, before when social media was a bit more abundant and a little bit easier to navigate, we didn't have to worry as much about owning our audience, like having a giant email list or a giant text list. So we did really good with our text and email list that we had. But now that the algorithm has really changed to an interest base, it's a little bit harder to reach all of those people and have them see your stuff. So what I want to do is obviously I want to own that audience and get them converted into an email list or a text list, because we've learned how to convert those pretty darn well and how to nurture them pretty well. So with that said, I created 2 new opt-ins. I have 2 more on the way. So I have a couples playbook that if you guys have not gotten it yet, you can DM me playbook. It's freaking epic. It has your dream life vision planning in there that Chris and I just did. We went down to Montage Laguna, had the best weekend, and did our 5-year vision that I believe you should check in on minimum once, if not twice a year. It's an absolute game changer, you guys, not just for your life and your business, but one of the things that we've learned, and I'm just going to be so real, a lot of our friends have broken up or gotten divorced. And after the deep analyzing and conversations that we've gotten to have with them, they found that they didn't share a common vision. They weren't on the same page with a lot of stuff. And it wasn't a conversation that they would normally have ever. Like, it was actually kind of avoided. And so I believe a shared common goal allows you to really get on that same page and support. So go DM me playbook because you absolutely want this. I'm not even kidding you, not to mention the other 4 rituals that are in there that have changed our life. The other one is 3 prompts, really about dialing in your messaging. And that one is done really well as well, because I know for me, when I'm not clear on my messaging and what I'm speaking to, it's like the audience gets confused and confusion doesn't sell anything. And so that one is prompts 3. You can DM me that, PROMPTS 3. And the reason I'm saying DM me is so you can understand what an opt-in is, and also so you can get in our list. Okay. But with that said, these are really important if you want your audience. So audience acquisition, I've worked really hard on getting these opt-ins. Like I said, I have 2 more coming. I have gotten now the awareness that my number one job for Glossy and for our personal brands, which are so intertwined, you guys, they're actually the same thing, because when I grow my personal brand and I share Glossy, it like spikes. So personal brand and Glossy, the number one thing that I can do is be creative and have so much creative time in my calendar. So this has taken me a while to learn what's most important, clear out days. I now try to have 3 creative days. It doesn't mean I'm not taking a call here and there, because Chris and I have, like, for the Mentor Collective Mastermind, we have a 2-hour call in the morning, and then I keep the afternoon for full creative, things like that. So I want you to see how this actually goes in my calendar. Monday is a bit of admin and creative. Tuesday is a little bit of podcast ad recording and then creative. So I'm making sure that I have large chunks of creative for top of funnel and for social media. And this is what's completely different. I was not doing anything near this last year. And so now I'm finally starting to see the fruits of that labor.
Yeah, you become a content queen. Like, that is the first thing that you are doing differently, right?
Coming.
You are pumping out content as a priority like I have never, ever seen before. You've doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down on your decision to do lots and lots and lots of content, and not just do more, but tweak it and learn and tweak it and learn, tweak it, learn. Like, to make this a priority is the first big thing that you're doing differently. Second big thing you're doing differently, talk about your networking efforts.
Oh my gosh. I've always told you guys this. If you want to get better at something, you have to go plug into the people who are already good at it. And since I'm still in a new realm, my product only launched a 1.5 years ago. And I come from more the digital marketing for courses, personal development, books, events type of space. And so a CPG product, which is consumer packaged goods product, which is what Glossy is a different space. So I need to be making friends with women who are a bit more in that space as well, and creating those relationships for help that I know I'll need in the future, so that if I'm struggling with something, or maybe I need to get my costs down of my ingredients, or my costs of my co-packer, or my warehouse, or whatever that looks like I will have them within my network, because I believe that all of the things that are good and all the ways you're going to be successful are going to come by way of your network. And so it's really like creating this personal board of directors for myself just through networking. So I've decided to do for sure 2 dinners a year that are a little bit larger, where I'm trying to invite all of these different women who I not only would love in my network, who I think I can grow from because they're ahead of me in different ways, but also that I know will equally need each other. So I want to help build their networks too. That's why I'm on the planet. It's like in my human design. It's absolutely one of my biggest like characteristics and traits that comes pretty easy to me. It doesn't mean that it's not hard to do the ask or that feels awkward or a challenge, but the actual like facilitating and getting people together is absolutely my zone of genius that I've cultivated and gotten better at. And so that has changed the game for me as well, because already just through doing that, I've gotten new investors. I've gotten answers to really challenging problems. I've gotten, people who can help me with my marketing, and it's been life-changing.
Yeah. So here's what I've been doing differently since January. Number one, same as what you just said. I've been going out and purposely building these new relationships with people that are in the hard money real estate space, hard money lending space, flipping real estate space, because Frello's pivot is, and I actually haven't done many episodes on Frello's pivot because we've just been building, but we're so close to launch, which is exciting, is matchmaking. People that need funds quickly to flip a property or invest in real estate, with all the hard money and private money lenders out there that can fund them really quickly, 24, 48 hours, 72-hour type of fundings. And no one has ever aggregated that space together in a tech forward way. And that's what we totally rebuilt the platform to do. Well, I'm not in that space. I'm not in real estate. I'm not in hard money lending. I'm not in private money lending, right? And so I've had to throw myself into that space. I've had to go to the dinners. I've had to meet the people. I've had to go have the coffee dates like I did a couple mornings ago. I've had to make it a priority to go build relationships in those spaces. And it has gone so well. Guys, you underestimate what some intentional relationship building in a certain space can do for you if you want to be strong in that space. You really underestimate how quickly it can happen. You meet one guy, says, oh my God, this is amazing. You got to meet this guy and this guy and this guy. So then he sets up an intro and you meet those 3 guys. And they say, oh my God, this is amazing. You got to be a part of this group over here. And you got to come to this event over here. Now you're part of a group. Now you're going to an event. Mm-hmm. And now you've met 100 people. And they're like, hey, when can I use it? When's it live? So it goes really, really quickly when you intentionally set out on what we call new networking. We've always been networking champs. Like, that we're known for our network, but we've been networking with the people who have always been in the space that we've always been in. I call this new networking. This is penetrating a brand new space.
If you think about it in terms of like, I want you to look back if you were in sports growing up or if your kids are in sports. So if your kid wants to be a professional soccer player and you want to help cultivate that, and you're like, okay, well, this is really important that we get him a soccer coach, not a basketball coach. Yep. And it's really important that he hangs out with other soccer players who are going to make them better, not the swim team.
Yep.
And it's really important that I, as the parent, also get to know these parents to see what they're doing, what's working for them. How are they making
they hiring
better? Who are they hiring?
Are they going to?
What are they looking for in their future? Instead of talking to totally different people or people who are on the chess team, or you're hanging out with all of those other people. When you go all in, you are all in. And I will say one of the most incredible groups that do this was network marketing. You are in it, that's why you guys, people either love it or they hate it, because they're like, oh my God, they can only hang out with network marketers or they only do this with their team. Yeah. And when you see the people who are doing that, they're probably top in the company because it's the same exact mindset. They want to be living it. They want to be breathing it. They want to be obsessed with it. They want that conversation in their life all the time. Just like if your kid is going to be, the families whose kids are truly they're either going to be an Olympian, they're prepping for that, or they know that their trajectory. We've got friends like this who they want to be professional hockey players. They have literally moved across the country to make sure their child can have the best chance at becoming
best schools, the best camps,
player, and hanging around the kids who play hockey with the parents who play hockey. They've transitioned their entire life to support that. And I really want you to look at, have you transitioned your life, your friendships, and your network to support what you want? Because I've just been having way too many conversations that I can't ignore, that if you're not doing this, it's just not going to happen. You just don't want it bad enough. And so I'm not saying you have to be so crazy extreme, but yeah, if you really want a big goal, you do. You have to be called obsessed by other people. And I'm truly obsessed, and I hope it comes across that way.
The last answer I had when you asked me this morning, hey, all right, check-in time. What are you doing differently that's getting different results? I'm in great shape again. And a lot of that is because I could finally do full body workouts because, I had my surgery on my bicep, my labrum, and had to sit out for 3 months and blah, blah, blah. But I did two things differently to be able to show up in this type of shape and be excited about the progress I'm making. Thing number one, got a different trainer. Shout out to Matt Danis. He is like the greatest physical therapist on the planet. Only does Navy SEALs and Team USA Olympians, but was kind enough to do my PT, and PT turned into training. And now he's training me in all the right ways I've never been trained before. Right. And it's making a huge difference. But I knew I needed something more than that. I needed accountability. And there's a guy through the networking that I met who is in the fintech space. And he had a goal of getting in better shape. We went out to dinner with him and his wife. And he's like, man, I got to get in better shape. And I'm like, well, what are you doing differently to get into better shape? I've got the good intentions, but this sabotage and that's right. And I'm like, that's me too. I'm about to start working out full body again. I can use my arm again. I could use some accountability, like that pressure of, oh God, I can't check in with another high performer this week and have not made progress. And so we joke, we call it sending nudes. We send each other a progress pic back and forth, a selfie in the mirror progress pic back and forth every single Sunday with a weigh-in. What did we weigh on the scale right now? And then a quick little blurb about here's what I did, or here's what worked, or I'm happy with it, or I'm not happy with it. And here's my goal this week. I'll tell you what, that is a small thing, but largely different than anything I've ever done. I have never, ever sent nudie progress pics to somebody else that I respect in order to strike that fear.
Claire, you have underwear on.
Yeah, so. Obviously I'm being funny.
Short.
To be able to, now you totally threw me off, damn it. What was it called?
Accountability.
Yes, accountability. I've never set up accountability with somebody that I really respect like this, where I know I need to make progress every single week. And it has been an absolute game changer and has developed a relationship really strong because both of us are making progress together. We feel like we're in the trenches together.
You're getting nudes. So
guys, here's the point. What are you doing differently? Not are you working hard? I know you probably are. Not are you dreaming or calling out your goals or manifesting? I know you probably are. Not are you hiring some coaches and doing the right things? I know probably many of you are. It's what are you doing differently than you did last year? What are you doing differently than you did the past 6 months? What are you doing differently than you've done your whole career or your whole life to get you the different results? I'll wrap this up by saying this. There is nothing more insane than continuing to work hard in the same direction, doing the same thing, but expecting different results. And that saying has been around forever, and nothing is truer. What are you doing differently?
Mm-hmm. We're so grateful for you guys. And hopefully we get to meet some of you in person. I know most people that we get to come to these things or our masterminds or anything are by way of podcast and just being able to, have had you in the audience for whether it's 6 months, whether it's a year, whether it's the 8 years that this podcast has been going on.
We get at our house.
To get to know you and help your business out. So if you have questions about it, you can go ahead and reach out and ask us, but we would love to see you.
Yep. Go to chrisharder.me/weekend and grab one of those last few spots. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Love and appreciate you.
See you next week.
Thanks for listening. And if you loved this episode and know of someone else who is as successful as they are generous, please pass them on to me. It would mean the world to me if you help me get this cause and this message out to as many listeners as I can. So please, if you liked what you heard, it goes a long way if you take 30 seconds and leave me a 5-star review and share this with your friends. I'll be forever grateful. And until the next episode, cheers to your success.